Invasion continues on with another non-European winning a European regional. Is it possible that the EU continues to be the free EU? Hello, everyone. My name's Eric Leon, the man rated EDL, and I am joined with the person who is always fresh on hater stuff with Evan Vasey, and we are the Old Amber Archives. Evan, how you doing this weekend?
Um, Doing fantastic. So, got to watch a lot of Pokemon. Got to watch a lot of football. I think I tore my hamstring, so that's not great. But we'll see tomorrow when I go to the doctor.
I mean, yeah, no, I feel like you would feel that if you tore your hamstring. Hopefully it's not that. Hopefully it's just a pulled muscle or something along those lines. Um, my
Hopefully
weekend has
it's
been
not
very
that.
busy.
Hopefully it's just a
I've
pulled muscle or something.
been working on my own channel and getting content going up. It's been crazy.
Trash
Uh,
pulls, trash pulls.
Trash pulls, baby. Um, that's been actually doing pretty successful for me. So I've just been focused on that. Haven't been doing a whole lot, but moving on to other important Pokemon stuff. We have recently a regional that just concluded this weekend, the Lille Regional Championships, and I have a question. Hey Evan,
Yeah,
have you noticed any ghosts recently around? Because I didn't see any ghosts recently around.
I
And
didn't.
I heard that it's spooky season and there's supposed to be ghosts everywhere.
Yeah, I didn't notice any ghosts out there, and there was fear mongering all week about these ghosts are ruining the format. This is a terrible format, worst format in the history of Pokemon. We're gonna get into that later because I got a rant ready for that. But yeah, like this is Pokemon, dude. One week there's one thing like this is new hotness, and the next week it falls off. That's that's what happens. Those people played a bunch of Drago this week, and it cleaned up all those ghosts. People played Dragon Ball, it cleaned up all those ghosts. There's nothing you can do in those situations. So yeah, no ghosts in top eight. I guess the end of the world was nigh.
And a complete shift in regards to what we saw in the previous regional tournament, too. Because looking at it from there, first things first, congratulations to Australian native James Cox for winning with the Reggie Drago list, defeating the Dragapult player Clement Carboy. I'm gonna say that as best as I possibly can. Sorry if I butchered it. In the finals of the Lille Regional Championship. So congratulations, he got himself his world invite. And again, just kind of another interesting thing that I remember they were talking about on the stream here. It's been like 5 or 6 regionals where in the European regional tournament circuit, not a European has been able to claim championships. It's been a bunch of people coming from other different countries, other different places, taking it down. So one of the first questions I have, just in regards to this here, Evan, I know I'm not an expert of European circuit or anything, but why does it seem like it's just so easy to go to Europe Europe and take a regional championship down from the actual European players?
Because the bloodline is weak. I don't know.
Well, there you have.
I European players should be better because we consider as the best player in the world is from Europe and Thord, right? But I think top end wise they're really good, but they don't have strong deep pool of players to go by. And it is Pokemon. Like somebody's gonna run hot, and for some reason these guys are always the ones that get screwed over. But then we look at regionals here and like, there's gonna be Europeans that's gonna win regionals over here. Obviously, I don't like Europe. I think they all smell. They all suck, especially France. You ever been to Paris?
I've not been out of the states
It's
myself. I
fucking terrible. The worst city I've ever been in my life. It smells. It smells like uh, Skid Row. Just worse. Yeah, but no, like everybody talks about. It's just a weird run. It's just a weird statistical anomaly where it's just like the region is regionals international now. Everything's international. Everything goes. Uh, so the more international regional is, the more people are gonna go there, and people, so obviously like people from the states are flying over there. People from Australia that can afford it are flying over there. People from you saw people in top 8 from Latin America and South America in the top 16 and top day twoing. It's just how it is. As an international game now, that people just gonna be more likely that this can happen. It is wild that majority of those fields are made up of Europeans, and they're not winning them. But hey, that's how it is. Maybe the next 5 in a row regional is gonna be won by Europeans, and then nobody will talk about this again. But yeah, but I do think the European bloodline is weak, as just straight from Pokemon. I think they are a weak bloodline. They know this. They don't travel. They ain't got to travel Chiefs. They can get behind. They ain't got to travel Chiefs. They can get behind. But yeah, so
And
it's typical anomalies, and people are gonna make big deals about it. But it's the same thing like we're talking about the Dusknoir. It was a statistical anomaly how good Dusknoir was doing good, and statistical anomaly how bad Dusknoir did this regional, and not making top 8. It's just how it is. Shit happens. Random shit happens all the time.
definitely an interesting aspect to look into, and like I said, something that we'll explore here in a little bit today. But rounding out the top 8, there were 3 Reggie Drago representations. Obviously, the second place Dragon Cloak that we talked about earlier, um, and then we also had a Snorlax Stall that made it on there. And if I'm not mistaken, Stall recently has pivoted away from Rotom, so it's just raw dogging top decks in regards to what they can find. Interesting aspect on that angle there. 2 Lugias, which had the highest day 2 conversion for this regional tournament. And I think that's also another interesting aspect to look into. And then last but definitely not least, 1 Raging Bolt made it into the top 8. So as we were discussing earlier, not a single Dusknoir was in the top 8 of the regional. One in top 16, a Palkia Dusknoir line that did make it into top 16, but outside of that, that was it. Um, there was no other representation in the top 16 of a Dusknoir. So it's something that heavily fell off in regards to what this regional was in relation to the last regional. Obviously, looking at the rest of the meta from there, it makes a lot of sense though, because there were 5 Reggie Dragos that made it into the top 16. There were Lugias, which is just a frustrating deck to go through in regards to trying to take it out and what it can do with mist energy and just kind of bulk itself up. Um, like I said, the Dragon Cloak line that can snipe away and just kind of bleed out your what is it? The dust is it Duskull? It's Duskull.
Duskull.
Uh, yeah, take out your Duskulls before they can even get evolved from there. And so, and then one Guardy Bennett item lock, which will then prevent you from even getting to that point. So definitely, as much as everybody, I think everybody was definitely looking at the Dusclops concept and Dusclops decks, and we're trying to figure out what's the best way we can eliminate Dusclops from even being represented in the top 16 of this deck. And they were able to successfully navigate that.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just how it is. Like, all those decks you talk about have great matchups into any Duskull build, Dustor build, just because, oh, with both the Dracloak and the Drago V, you're just gonna use that Phantom Dab attack, and you're gonna take something out, take out a Duskull on the bench. It's cheap knockout in the prize game. And if you take a 3 prize knockout, they really can't pop one later in the game to give you an extra prize, right? It's hard to get into anything. Uh, yeah, it's just like all this fear mongering, all this fear and loathing people had the whole week was just like not just stupid. It was stupid. Like But what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen is now there's gonna be a pivot again on the next regional, and there's probably be like 5 decks with Dusknoir in the top 8 next at the next regional, and then we're gonna run this all back again, run back all this commentary we had this week on it. It's just how it is. Everything just it's constantly shifting meta. Like even though we have the same meta, the same cards, it's constantly shift. That's why everything we talk about good meta call like. It's the same thing like this cups going on. Hey, somebody played. I think it was Nathan Ginsburg who's was in a cup against our boy Josh down in SoCal in the San Diego region area of his like LA area. Uh, he played Guardy the last in I think of the 2 cups he won, and there was just a good meta call on both of those just based on the rest of the spread in there. And that's basically what Pokemon is. Pokemon is like, do you make the correct meta call for this tournament? And all those people that played Reggie Drago this tournament made the correct meta call. It wasn't the correct meta call last week. It was the correct meta call this week, and that's all it is. That's all there is to it. That's how you play the game.
Yeah, definitely. Looking at what it was for going from there. And not even just that, not even just the Dusclops. I think Reggie Jago was just good in general because, what we were discussing previously, where Lost Box got second place when everybody was like, "Oh, Lost Box dead," and it's like, "Oh no, it resurged." Obviously, that means it's good again. Let's run it back one more time with Lost Box, and Reggie Drago just kind of eats up a Lost Box deck and what it can do from there. So Reggie Drago definitely was in a prime position to take advantage of this current meta and really thrive in regards to that. So shout out to all the Reggie Drago players that were able to take advantage and get themselves into the top 16 and top 8 of the regional tournaments. Um, in regards to that. So going from there and
Oh, one
and,
second.
and discussing this, go ahead. What do you got?
Pablo, this is live. You're probably
Hi,
high. This
Pablo.
this is this is live. This is live. I'll talk about Pikachu in the future when we talk about the next set, which will probably be next week. But yeah, we'll talk about that in the future. All right. Sorry, I want to let Pablo know what's going on.
Quick analysis. We'll see. That's my thought process of Pikachu. So going from here and going into that. Um, Now, since I think you kind of called it earlier when you were discussing, what the pivot is going to be. So, what are your thoughts in regards to, you know, the ebb and flow of this? Because I know you have an opinion on, just now that Reggie Drago is taking another regional down and once was considered the best deck in the format, then kind of fell down to like a high B tier deck, and now it's come back around to win. Seems like everybody's probably going to be back on Reggie Drago being one of the best decks in the format of that. There's always this constant kind of swinging back and forth with a lot of players, and it seems like players are very fickle in regards to their opinions and thought processes of things. So with everything on that end of it, I know you said you had some thoughts and opinions on that. So what's your opinion in regards to just a how the meta flows and b how these Pokemon players are fickle in regards to what's happening with that?
Okay, so this is a real thing. I don't think it's a big issue. It's just more seen now because how much the growth has been in the game, right? Like there's so many new players, right? There's so many people that just picked up the game the last couple years. So this is basically like their
Yes.
first like true meta, and this is their first experience with these shifts. And it's something I'm seeing. You kind of see this with. I always talk about this with other TCGs, new TCGs. Uh, it's kind of an issue that happens in Lorcana. I know I was talking to our boy Jeremy about this the other day. When you have so many people that are brand new to a card game, and Pokemon is a card game that brings in a bunch of brand new players that don't really play other card games, and they see this shit, and they gotta like kind of speed run these issues, like this, and they talk about it's just hyperbolic the things they say. There's like saying, "Oh, this is terrible meta. This is the worst meta. I'm not gonna play anymore because I don't like how this meta." Like, there's actually people that said this week, "I'm gonna take a break because this meta is crap." I don't want to be playing Dusknoir mirrors all the time. I don't want to be doing this, bro. This is like a walk through the flowers type of meta for me. I've seen way worse than this. I played in ADP. I played in Marshadow Delinquent, Red Card Delinquent. Red Card gets this, Marshadow gets this. You know how much it sucks if your opponent's going first and you're going second, and you know what they can do? They can hit you with a red card, and they hit you with a Delinquent, and put you down to one card, and you got to start your next card when you'll forget to start your first turn of the game with only two cards in hand. You know how much that sucks? Imagine playing that meta. I want to see these people play that. I want to see these people play when it was just, oh shit, we're just gonna play Night March. Everybody's playing Night March. Hit, Night March, Night March. ADP. I witnessed the Mewtwo Wars. I witnessed the Mewtwo Wars. Don't come in here and tell me Dusknoir is a bad meta. Just don't look me in the eyes and say Dusknoir is too rough of a meta. It's too hard of a meta. I don't want to play it. I don't want to play. You know what sucked? Playing goddamn fucking Mewtwo. And you have to be worried about, I don't want to be the first person to attach your energy, because I'm the first person to attach your energy, I'm losing a game. You don't. That was true hell. That was terror. That was like D-Day. I saw Pokemon players on the floor during the Mewtwo Wars.
Evan doing his best Lieutenant Surge impression over here.
Reno barely survived the Mewtwo Wars. And look what happened to him now. He's a fat piece of shit.
That play stall.
That play stall. Like, look what happened. God damn. Like, this is a walk through the park. Oh, you're sad and you're sad. You know what true sadness is? Starting your first turn in the game with only one card in hand. That's true sadness. Goddamn, red card delinquents, white card gets us, and then you start your game. You start the game with one card in hand, and it's an energy, and then you draw another energy, and you can't do anything. You lose the game. That's true hell. That's true terror right there. And then all these people. What's also worse? What's also dumb? What's also the dumbest fucking thing I saw is people want to bring back Garbotox and Garbodor. You know that's true hell. Garbotox and Garbodor. You couldn't play the game. You just physically couldn't play the game. You like lock you out. I can't do anything. You know what's also worse? When they had the Trash Flash Garbodor and they had the combination, I can't use abilities, and then I can't use items, because if I use items, you're just gonna knock me out with the goddamn Trash Flash. Fuck Raul. It's fucking it's fucking dumb, dude. It's so dumb. Like these people, they say these things without having any fucking. Just look it up. Go look up some of these things. What? Not even that far ago. Look at Palkia. Look at how terrible Palkia was when it was just like 8 Palkias in the top 8 at a regional in goddamn Australia, the land of prisoners.
That I do remember. I do remember Palkia being Palkia and Lugia. I think were my personally my two where the meta was just completely stale in regards to just, oh hey look, it's Lugia, or hey look, it's Palkia. Shady dealings Palkia. In regards to just, oh, I'm gonna do this and shady dealings and grab this card and do this and do that, and then hit a Marnie and just completely wreck your deck from there. Or Lugia, which I think was another one where it's just mirrors, it's just Lugia mirrors. What was it's not Fang Snipe, but the Stoutland attack where it's just like, oh hey, I attack your single prize and I take 2 cards. That was very brutal in regards to just there wasn't really much going on.
So like, it's just how it is, dude. It's like these people don't understand how bad matters is. You never played a Greninja mirror. We just sit there and saddle shits. Greninja break mirror where you just saddle shits for 40, saddle shits for 40, saddle stitch for 40. You can't do anything. You just can't do anything. You have to sit there for like 20 turns where you just keep saddle stitching, building your voice, saddle stitching back and forth, saddle stitching back and forth. You know how miserable that is? You know how miserable that meta was? These people don't understand. None of these people understand. They don't get it, dude. They don't get it. The meta shift. We're in like a very healthy meta. Look at the top 8. Look at the top 16. Yeah, Drago was the most dominant deck, but there's only a 5 share of the top 16, right? The rest of that was very open. this is a very healthy meta we're in right now. This is a very healthy meta we're in right now. And if you're complaining about this, you just shouldn't play TCGs. If you're complaining about this meta, if you think this is the meta that makes you not want to play and you're like, I don't want to, I'm gonna take a break. Yeah, man, TCG's on for you, bro. Because trust me, go play Yu-Gi-Oh. Go play Yu-Gi-Oh. I talked to our boy Lalo about some of these Yu-Gi-Oh metas where you don't get to play the game. It's just over on the first or second turn. You're like, I don't get to play the game. I've been looking up some of these Magic metas where you just don't get to do anything. Even in One Piece, like there's certain things where you just like I don't get to do it. I don't get to play the game. It's not that bad as people think. I hate when people complain. Like if you don't want to play, don't play. Don't make a big show and boat about it. Like I'm gonna stop playing because this meta's bad, and I'll come back when PCC when International fixes the game, or whatever, or the rotation or whatever. I'm like, fuck you, Jake Gearhart, you fucking dumbass bitch. Just calm down and don't say anything. Just go back. Just don't play. You don't gotta make a big deal about it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. Just don't make a big deal about it. It doesn't matter. Like, whenever I quit, I'm just gonna quit. I'm just gonna leave. You'll never see me again. I'm not gonna talk about Pokemon. I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm quitting until I come back. I'm just gonna leave. You'll never hear from me
again. now, a question I have in regards to this here, because one thing is definitely, the meta. I think is very. I wouldn't necessarily say bad, but I think it's one of those things where like it swings, and that throws a lot of people off in regards to that. Now, with the new tournament structure as well, how much of people being upset about the meta is also a pivot in regards to that the new tournament structure for the most part people feel is not a good tournament structure.
again. Oh, a lot.
So
That's no. I know where you're going. Like it's a big part of it. One, because you don't have a point threshold you just get to shoot for, right? So that means you got to play every regional. You got to be in it. You got to maximize every regional because you could be pipped right at the end and be knocked out at top 125, right? So that fucking sucks, right? Two, playing less rounds sucks because you can't make a comeback. You can't make a run back if you're only playing 12 rounds, right? So like when Alex Szymanski was bitching about it last week about going 4-0 on day 2 and not making it, he's like, "How can I go 4-0 on day 2 and not make it? Because there was 8 guys better than you. Because 8 guys did better than you. You shouldn't have lost. Don't lose any games. I don't know what to tell you here. Only lose one, then you would have made top 8. Then that's fine. So like the worst thing they did was basically talk about an asymmetrical top cut and cutting the rounds. It's the stupidest thing. If they wanted to do what I talked to you about this. I said they should have kept it because the big issue was they wanted to get out on day 2, right? Keep 9 rounds for day 1, right? And then keep Yes, smart. Hey, smart. It's smart. Yes, I have a podcast. I talk a lot of bullshit on here. Eric is not associated with any of the bullshit I talk. They should have kept it 9 rounds on day 1, 4 rounds on day 2, and then cut to asymmetrical top cut. Playing 13 rounds. Oh, getting 5 rounds. I don't know. Maybe cut round. What we were playing 9 and 6 right before. It was 9 rounds.
So, yeah.
9 rounds. They should have kept it down to. They should have got it to 14 rounds, to an asymmetrical top cut. So they should have went 9 on day 1, 5 or 4 on day 2. I don't know. I got to do the math again. And then 5 or 4 on day 2, and then asymmetrical top cut. And I think that would have fixed a lot of more issues. You're adding back in 1 or 2 more rounds, right? I think that would have fixed a lot more issues. But yeah, it's stupid. I feel like that's also a big issue that I think a lot of people have is just the structure is dumb. It is a stupid idea for the tournament. Like people want to play more rounds than less rounds. It's stupid. I said it was stupid when they announced it. You heard me. I think I messaged you right away and said this is fucking stupid. when they talked about, oh, there's this many people playing 8 rounds, or this many people playing 9 rounds, and playing 4 rounds on the next day or 5 rounds on the next day. Like, you're fucking dumb. They should have kept it 9 rounds on day one. You could still do 7-2 if you still want to do 7-2 to get the top cut, get to day two. That's fine. I don't give a shit. That's fine. If you want to make it more exclusive into a day two, that's fine. Just still make it 7-2 in the 9 rounds. Play another 4 or 5 rounds on day two, and an asymmetrical top cut. That's literally the easiest, simplest instruction. But Pokemon's fucking stupid. They're never gonna do the smart fucking answer. They're never gonna do the smart thing. They're always gonna do the dumbest fucking option. Like, here's a glass full of water and a glass full of shit. They're gonna pick the glass full of shit because they're fucking dumb. This is fucking all. And this isn't, this is just a real thing. Like, and then they're like, oh, a top 125. This can be smart. It's gonna keep all the things in there. Like, okay, cool. That's fine. I don't give a shit. I'm not trying to make worlds, but there's other people that are like, it's better. Like, I think they should have made the point threshold higher. Right? You keep everything the same, but make it 800 points to get through worlds instead of 600 points. Right? Maybe that would have fixed some issues. I don't know. That the whole point threshold thing, I know it can wear on people, because if you're actually like trying to get the worlds, and I'm not whacking it like Ian Rob, that's me just being like hammering it down. If you're actually trying to make it to worlds, you gotta be on it every tournament. You gotta be there, because you gotta make sure you maximize that shit, everything. Because if you're one of those people like in the like 90s to the 125s, and if you're in like those last 30, if you're in those like last 30 spots, and you don't get into NAIC, you could be fucked. You could be fucked.
You're not safe. No,
you're not safe. You're not safe.
Yeah, you're not safe.
If you're in like the bottom 30, you're not safe. You're not safe at all. So you gotta make sure like every one of them. Smart. All the people in the chat, all my asshole friends from Kerman. Thomas. Fucking goddamn Pablo. Bunch of people. Ah, God. We're gonna have a toxic chat. This is gonna be great. I love it. But yeah. But dude, it's I hate, like, it's just constantly annoying. Like, Pokemon's fucking dumb, and the players that complain about certain things are dumb, and it's just constantly me seeing all this shit. Like, it sucks, bro. It sucks. It's so terrible. But we gotta accept as players that Pokemon is always gonna make the fucking. We gotta accept as players that Pokemon is always gonna make the worst fucking choice. The only smart choice they did recently is up the money for winners and shit. Like, up the pricing. Like, they hit, like, the sun signs on a bull's ass every once in a while, and that's the one time the sun signed on the African ass, bro. Fucking goddamn, this new system. I knew immediately this new system was gonna cause issues, and it's gonna make people pissed. Both the tournament structure for the regionals and internets, and for the fucking qualifying for the fucking worlds. I fucking knew it, that this is going to be fucking a clusterfuck about a couple months into it. And we're a couple months into it, and it's a fucking clusterfuck. There's so many people that fucking hate it. There's so many people that understand now this shit. Yeah, exactly, Smart. They just did it to create a problem. It was fucking stupid. Like, you could have modified it. You could have, like I told you, you could have just modified the old system. If you want to make less people into day two, you could have just modified the old system. Go to a higher point threshold. Go to a 7-2 point threshold instead of 6-2-1 point threshold. If you just want less people in day two, which is really what I think they just wanted. They just want less people in day two, so you can move through day two faster, right? But cutting rounds was not the right fucking call, dude. But yeah, it's fucking dumb, dude. It's so fucking dumb. It's so fucking stupid, dude. I don't care. I'm not a super competitive player, so for me, it's just like going to the experience and doing whatever. But it's fucking stupid, bro. It's fucking stupid. I fucking hate all this shit. Like, it's so dumb to see like a company that has this much fucking money just make the wrong decision every fucking time. It's fucking dumb, dude. It is what it is. What can you do? Rant over.
All right. I feel like I opened that can of worms trying to discuss into that. So um, go from there and looking at it from the next point here, um, moving off of a tournament structure and going back into it. So um, that is true. Yeah, no, they definitely are making a lot of registration. They are definitely making a lot of money from registration, especially with the registration going up here. Um, so moving on to the next point, in discussion on this, because we just got done with Lily here. What's the next regional coming up here? Is it before Surging Sparks, or is it going to be Surging Sparks and then moving into the next regional?
Let me look that up because I don't know that off the top of my head. The next U.S. regional was until after Searching Sparks, so I got to see if there's like a European or a Latin American one. So there's a
Ah,
special.
Poland.
Is it Poland? Is it Poland in the beginning of November? Yeah. So there's the Poland one. Yeah, I should know that because there's a bunch of people that are gonna go play in that I follow on Twitter that have been talking about that. So yeah, Poland November 2nd and 3rd, and then there's a Latin American like special event November 9th and 10th. So there's two of them before Surging Sparks come out, before the shit shifts. But I don't think Surging I don't I don't think Surging Star is gonna change a lot. I could be dumb and say not, but I've been looking at those sets. I looked at those sets multiple times. I'm like, alright, there's gonna be some asshole like our buddy Mikey that's gonna play Reggie's with the Pikachu in it to go wide and have a big hitter. Maybe some of the supporters will
I
be maybe some of the supporters will be good, right? Um, I have another deep look
I
into that.
honestly, I always feel like that's kind of what a lot of the recent packs have been. It's been this like, oh my god, this is going to change everything about the meta and everything. And
Which
then it's
which
like
which A spec
five
smart?
cards.
Which A spec? Is it the A specs look good? The A specs look good. The one that lets you that's basically a battle compressor, and the one that lets you the card that lets you get your Pokemon out. Those look kind of hot for certain things, but like
I
the
mean, is it going to change though? Like, you know,
the trolley, yeah,
I
the
think
trolley. I think the trolley is gonna be big. I think the trolley is gonna be big in decks because I think you can just load up your bench. I think for one for turtles, I don't know if that's gonna be the aspect you play in that, but like you can go. You don't even play it first thing. You go whatever, whatever. Trolley, get the stadium down. Trolley, get everything down. Hit for a shit ton. You can just go into you can grab the trolley with the owl, and then you get down the rest of your fucking bench, and you hit for the maximum damage. So I think the trolley would be actually nice. I know talking to boy Mikey, he's gonna play that in Reggie's. If he actually is brave, nuts up, and plays Reggie's and Sack.
I think Mikey will. I think Mikey will. Mikey loves Reggie's.
I think
Mikey loves the concept of
I
Reggie's.
think I am just to try to get a better record than him.
Just have a duel. Who's the best Reggie? Who's the best Reggie player in Fresno? All right then. Because I know earlier Pablo was also asking us about the Pikachu in regards to that. You know, it seems like I've seen some deck builds and I've seen some stuff about it. And like I said, for me personally, what I come across is very much a I like to sit back and just kind of see how everything plays out because for the last I think for like the last 4 to 5 sets, I've been told that there are these decks that are just going to completely change everything that we know in regards to the meta. And it's still Charizard is still there. Guardy is still there. You know, Lugia is still there. So it's like, you know, it's nice to have these cards add in some new flavor and add in some new spice in regards to that. But at the end of the day, these decks don't really. I mean, like what you consider the top of the meta doesn't consistently heavily change in regards to that. It's always kind of just you know it's your top A decks that are just going to sit there. They're just going to alter in regards to how they structure, and then everything else is just going to be at the bottom.
Yeah, I don't really see any decks really popping super hard with the new any new meta decks popping. Like, sure, there's people playing Regis just because people want to play Regis, and that Pikachu is interesting. Pikachu with the trolley is interesting. That's an interesting combination you can play into that deck. But that's still the issue with getting energies in discard, right? That's the issue with Red. That's the biggest issue with Regis, as I've been trying to figure out the deck list as well. But yeah, doesn't look like it's truly like shifting meta deck, which it was a shifting meta set, which truly is like just how it is. It's just sometimes the sets that don't really shift anything. It's gonna have a few like cards that are fun and whatever, but it is what it is. It's gonna be what it is. Obviously there's some fun decks that I'm gonna play out of this deck. That Armor Rouge looks right up my alley. Just get a bunch of enemies in discard and hit for a shit ton. That looks fun. But again, it's just that's gonna be a fun deck. I don't think that deck's gonna perform at all in the current meta, just because you got to get into stage one. I just feel like it's gonna get into some other fucking problems, right? So, like, what's the other thing? I talked about you. What's the dragon? The three-headed one.
Oh, Hydreigon.
Hydreigon. That just looks dumb. Be able to hit for 200 mil, but you got to get into a stage two and get 3 energies on it. That's the problem. But yeah, that's like some asshole's gonna play that at regional. That asshole may be me. It may be me.
Yeah, the only card I'm personally super interested in is the Rotom that for one lightning energy you just completely mill, or you discard all items and tools that are in somebody's hand, just because I like to play a lot of control. That's just kind of like what I've kind of gravitated towards recently,
Yeah, because you're an
and
asshole.
I just I mean, uh, I'm not going to argue that. But because it also just strikes to me as a much more interesting Fang snipe. But I'm not here sitting on my hopes and prayers and thinking to myself, oh, this is going to be the new it, in regards to that. So I just want to see how it works. I want to play with it. I want to have some fun, and then like you said, pick up some new random decks that are coming out and see what's going to be fun and interesting in regards to that.
Yeah, obviously for me, a casual player, like I'm gonna build some like fun casual decks to play locally whenever I get a chance to play. I'm still just trying to figure out what I'm gonna play for sack because I've got to look at these cards and be like, oh, well, okay, well, which one of these work for whatever what I got to modify for the couple lists I have ideas for sack. That's gonna be off my first regional this season. Uh, yeah, I'll just keep looking at it. It's like, yeah, there's nothing super defining. Obviously, there's some A specs that may change around. The A specs look pretty hot. But beyond that, yeah, it's not a meta defining. It's not going to be a meta shifting set like some of the other sets have been. Uh, like when Dusknoir came out, that's truly like, oh, this is going to shift some meta right now. That's how it was going to be. Like, and you saw that like certain decks got way better. Or when Dragon Ball came out, like, oh, even better. Sorry came out, like that's the new hotness. It's not. It doesn't have anything that looks like it's top end, really, Pokemon wise. I gotta get back into looking at the sporters and stuff, and to train all the trainers and stuff, and see what's there to be good. Obviously, the A specs look good, but yeah, there's nothing that's truly gonna shift things, right? But it is what it is, man. Sometimes dexes don't pop. Sometimes sets don't pop like other ones, and this is a set that's not gonna pop.
Okay, so how many cards are in the set? Just out of curiosity, like how many overall cards are going
Fuck,
to
I
be
don't
in
know,
this
two
set?
billion. It's
2 billion.
probably
Okay.
it's probably like how long? How many have been the last couple sets? It's been like 150 something. Not
Okay.
not including the secret rares, so like actual number cards with like 100 like 150 something. I was feeling maybe around 140 150. I don't think it's a super big set as some of the other ones have been. Has it been better on the set releases? So it's probably gonna be. I think the last number will be somewhere in the 150. So the actual like single cards will be in the probably about the 150 range.
So what would you say? What would you take a bet over under cards that are actually going to be relevant and useful? 15?
I think less than 10.
You think less than 10?
I think relevant. I think relevant means you're okay, with the A specs. They gotta be playable. With the supporters, you gotta be able to play in multiple decks, and it's not just being a tech in certain things. And with the same thing with Pokemon, the Pokemon's gotta be like it's not just a something in my deck. It's actually like a core piece of my deck, right? Does you kind of need to get your thing going. So I think there's me looking at the last couple times. I've been hovering around the 10 range, and I think it's under 10. Is actually going to be relevant in actual like meta.
You want to place our usual bet on that?
Yeah, I'll bet you all the Heinekens I've ever seen. All right, I bet you all the Heinekens I've ever seen that it won't. That will be less than 10. It's gonna be less than. It's gonna be hard to quantify. We're gonna have to like look like 6 months from now and see what cards are actually played. But we gotta do this before. It's gotta be before rotation because rotation changes everything. So it's gonna be from like right now until rotation. If they do
Of
rotation in
course.
spring, I mean rotation changes everything. Throw everything out when rotation happens.
No,
Uh,
of course, of course.
but
Yeah, we're not talking about them. We're talking about we're talking about in the next like I'd say 2 months once Surging Sparks opens up from Sacramento Regional to like Christmas. That's when we'll make a decision on how many cards come from that set that are viable.
yeah, it is what it is, man. What can you do? Fucking goddamn. Yeah, but yeah, rotations. I assume they'll announce rotation at like some point in the future, and I assume it's gonna happen in the spring. Well, I'm guessing at that. That's gonna change a lot of stuff as we pull out a bunch of dumbass stuff. Palkia will be gone. Some of the other stuff will be gone. I think all the V's come out will come out at the next rotation.
Yes, all
Yeah,
the V's will be gone.
all the
So
V's will be
bye
gone.
bye Rotom,
Bye bye Drago. Bye bye Palkia.
bye bye Reggie's.
Bye bye Reggie's. Yeah, Mikey's gotta play that shit. He's gotta play that shit. I'm gonna force him to play that shit. For the last thing I do, I'm gonna force that man to play Reggie's. Uh, but yeah, I think also as we talked about earlier, like if like for the next regional Poland, if a bunch of people get on Drago because Drago won, what's the counter to Drago? And I think it's your boy. I think it's your boy Maridon. It's a terrible matchup across everywhere else, but it can take out a Drago pretty easily.
Yeah, no, that is definitely that is definitely something that it is completely viable in doing is just running hot and knocking out baby Dragos and then also knocking out, well, actually it can get up to 280 now with good old Raikou. So that's going to be probably one of the ones that'll be heavily pivoted to in order to play from there. I also just think that simply playing something along the lines of I mean, having something like a Lugia or something like that as well. That's just it's not necessarily going to one shot anything, but it's just too big to take down itself. And just going toe to toe with it, basically just punching into each other back and forth until the right opportunity opens itself up for like a weird ear or something like that. We'll probably also see a lot of play, but definitely an interesting time coming up from here. Um, so Evan, you got Sacramento sorted out, right? With like what your plans are and what you're doing and everything.
Yeah, so my plan is to go eat Jollibee. Beyond that, I don't know. I'm going
Gotcha,
up.
gotcha.
I'm going.
Okay.
I'm going up in the morning on Friday. I'm gonna eat Jollibee for lunch. Go to convention center. Check in. Go drink. Wake up hopefully on Saturday to play whatever deck I did choose to play that game. Probably not make day two. Drink and then come home on Sunday. That's probably the plan. That's the plan right now.
That sounds like a plan. My personal plan is something along the lines similar. It's just that every now and then sub out the drinking and sub in playing like side events because that's to me since I went to a bunch of regionals last year and coming back now and just kind of hanging out in regards to that, I've come to realize that it's really fun playing a bunch of side events because it feels a lot less stressful, especially when you're playing with your opponent. You know, You get some tryhards from time to time in regards to that, no matter where you go. But it seems a lot more just kind of casual. You just kind of have some fun, playing everything. I ain't trying to worry about 125 placing in regards to that or trying to win a regional. I just want to have some fun and play some Pokemon in regards to that. And then when I'm done doing that, drink with my buddy Evan.
Yeah, we're gonna get fucked up. Just fucked up. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I always like going to region. I like hang out with the boys, seeing everybody, seeing all my other Pokemon friends as well. The other people I know from around, around California, around the U.S. and shit, right? So it's just fun, dude. I always enjoy going to regionals. I always have a good time. Whether I do good or do bad in the tournament, it doesn't really affect me. I try to do good. I try to do good, but I know the caliber player I am. I'm not gonna truly like grind out these matchups trying to figure out every little detail and stuff. And it's just like, it is what it is. I play for the fun. I play for the shits and giggles. This is how I am. You know, I'm not a terrible player. I'm decent, but I'm never gonna be like truly a really really good player just because I'm not gonna like put the effort into it. Right? I'm never gonna put like the truly grindy effort into the game. One, I just don't got time. I got a lot of work commitments. I got a lot of other like social commitments. As we are uh, three-time defending trivia champions of Summer Fox Brewing, 3 months in a row, baby. Woo! Undefeated, never lost. But it's for me, regionals is just it's a mini vacation. It's an excuse to take a couple days off work, have some fun, and then recharge and get back into my daily grind. I gotta go, right? So it is what it is. It's what you can do. And especially with the new format with the 125 points, like, yo, man, if I'm gonna get the world, I gotta go on a miracle run. I gotta go on a miracle run and win a regional. And if that ever happens, if I ever win a regional, whoo, boy, I've been waiting for that all my life. You better be ready. You better be ready for the speech. You better be ready for the winner speech I'm gonna give after that, bro. That's right, Smart. I'm gonna win Nyack. I'm gonna win Nyack. I'm gonna flame the Pokemon community after when I win NAIC. When I win NAIC, just wait. Just wait. They ain't never gonna see me coming. They're gonna ban me from Pokemon after all the shit I see when they come and be like, how does it feel to win NAIC and qualify world, and be like, y'all suck. You let me win? You let me win? Y'all suck. Fuck you guys. Fuck everybody. Fuck Raul. Fuck TCI. Woo! I'll see you in Worlds. Crotch chop and walk off. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. I am flipping. Yes, whenever I quit, this is the thing. Whenever I decide to quit this game, whenever I decide to never play Pokemon again, at round 4 of a regional, I'm gonna flip that goddamn table. It's gonna be round 4. It's gonna be round 4. It's gonna be 20 minutes in. I'm gonna flip a table, just leave everything and walk out. That's gonna be the end of it. That will be the end of Evan Daisy. You will never see me, or you'll never see me near Pokemon ever again after that. That's it. I am never coming. I'm gonna get banned, and hopefully I do it when our boy Adam is judging and he's walking behind me. that's
Adam.
that's the goal. That's the goal. I'm gonna try to do it. Flip a table where Adam's walking behind me in my row, and then he's just gotta look at me, and I look at him, and I just walk out. And that's it. That's how I end. That's how this ends.
That's how Evan rides off into the sunset.
And then I punch Gazer Beam 2K in the face.
Fair.
Because I hate that man. I love him, but I hate him. I think that's all I got for today. That's basically
well, everybody. Well, everybody. On that note, I think that makes Sacramento Regionals a lot more interesting to come and play to
hold
see.
up.
Definitely,
One last thing. If you can hear my voice, if you see me at Sacramento Regionals and have a GoPro on my chest, just come up and call me a piece of shit because I want to try to edit it together for a video. Or even if I don't have a GoPro going, just call me a piece of shit. Be funny.
I too will probably have a GoPro. I I would not want to have that happen. I would like to have a friendly conversation in regards to meeting me from there. But moving on from there and wrapping it up today, everybody. Thank you everybody for who has joined in and joined us in the chat in regards to that. Definitely appreciate um, uh, everybody in there who has been positive in their comments and work whatnot. So from this point, my name is Eric Leon. Once again, the man rated EDL, joined here with Evan Thacey. We are the Old Amber Archives, and you guys have a good rest of your day.
See you all in hell.